Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today we are going to talk about a brief history of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa is an important holy site in Islam, located in the old city of Jerusalem in Palestine. Its name translates literally as the furthest mosque. The wider compound includes the Dome of the Rock, 17 gates, and 4 minarets, and is usually referred to as Al-Haram Al-Sharif, which means the noble sanctuary. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa was the first Qibla in Islam, and it has been a significant and important place of worship for the prophets of Islam. It was built 40 years after Al-Masjid Al-Haram in Mecca. There is a difference of the opinion among the scholars that who exactly built Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. With some historians it was built by Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, and others it was built by Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him. It has been rebuilt, renovated, and expanded many times in the history of Islam. It was a well-known place of worship at the time of Prophet Abraham, and for his son Prophet Isaac and grandson Prophet Jacob. When Prophet Jacob's son Prophet Joseph attained a position of power in Egypt, he asked his family to join him and escape the poverty that engulfed Palestine. According to biblical source claim this include his father, Prophet Jacob, and Prophet Joseph's siblings, all moved. It is also mentioned in Book of Genesis. At this point, as there was no one left amongst Prophet Jacob's progeny to look after Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, which at the time had the name of Betriel or House of God. Care for this blessed place was entrusted to the native population of the law, who were also followers of Prophet Abraham, the Palestinians. The Israelites who voluntarily migrated to Egypt seeking a better material life remained there for approximately 4 centuries and become slaves to the Egyptians. This slavery only ended when Prophet Moses freed them from Pharaoh under the command of Allah. However, the Israelites rejected the orders of Allah to return Palestine and were commanded to live in and wander through the desert of Sinai for 40 years. This ended when a new generation born, containing within it Prophet David, who led his generation of believers to Palestine. Prophet David established his kingdom in part of Palestine and controlled Jerusalem. His son, Prophet Solomon, rebuilt Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. After the death of Prophet Solomon, his two sons divided his kingdom amongst themselves, with each having its own capital. These kingdoms established for a new short times, approximately 200 years, with the last king of Jerusalem in the dynasty being dethroned in 586 or 87 BC as he tried to resist Babylonians. The Babylonians took control of Jerusalem. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa was destroyed again. The Persians overthrew the Babylonians in the period. Thereafter, ownership changed numerous times, and Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa was destroyed, rebuilt, and then destroyed again within 9th century by the Romans in 70 AD. By 315 to 325 AD, the Romans Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity. The Romans and the people residing in their land, including Jews, no longer had any regard for Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa and no longer treated it as a place of sanctity and worship. This is how Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa remained for the next few hundred years until the last and final Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, revived once again the spirituality in this blessed place. During the Crusaders, Jerusalem was captured. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa was used as a palace until it was captured by Salahuddin Ayyubi. the first Sultan of Egypt and Syria. In 1187, the mosque continued to undergo renovations and addition at the behest of the Ubaid Muslim Kurdish dynasty. The Mamluk Saladin spanning Egypt, Levant, and Hijaz. The Ottoman Empire, the Supreme Muslim Council, and Jordan. It is currently under the administration of the Jordan and Palestinian Islamic Waqf, a religious trust that manage Islamic historical sites around the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa had a very unique place in the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for many reasons. First, as Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa was central to the lives of many of his fellow prophets with whom he shared an exceptional bond. As the Islam taught by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, continuation, completion, and perfection of the religion and message of monotheism, preached by all the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, including Prophet Adam, Noah, Prophet Ibrahim, of whom Prophet Muhammad was a descendant, through his son Prophet Ishmael, Prophet Moses, David, Solomon, Prophet Isaac, Jesus, Moses, and all in his lifetime. Through the most memorable reason why Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa has such a significance is because it was the place to which he traveled on the night of Isra. On reaching Jerusalem, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, met and led all the previous prophets in prayer at the site of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, and then remarked on the mirage to the heavens. The journey of the Isra was such a momentous occasion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed verses relating to this journey in the glorious Quran. Chapter Al-Isra, the night journey. Chapter number 17 and verse number 1. Glorified be He who did take His servant for a journey by night from Al-Masjid Haram to Al-Masjid Aqsa, whose precinct we did bless in order that we might show him some of our signs. Verily, he is the all-hearing, all-seeing. After the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the second caliph of Islam, Umar ibn al-Khattab, entered and mercifully liberated Jerusalem without shedding blood and with the guarantee of protecting for the lives, property, and places of worship of others within the city. May Allah protect our brother or sister in Palestine. We all strongly condemn the occupied and Israeli forces, Zionist, and their cruel action in innocent worship, especially during the month of Ramadan. They violating in Qibla Awwal. They violating all norms of humanity and international law. We reiterate support for our brothers and sisters. We appeal international community to take immediate action to protect the innocent Palestinian and their legitimate rights. Ameen. Palestine.